Welcome to the Prophecy Club. One of the things that, how do I say this, the more mature prophecy student, and in my case, I'm about to have my 64th birthday, the more mature prophecy teacher, hopefully we try to get away from the superficial things dealing with Bible prophecy as we grow and mature in the Lord and understanding Bible prophecy. And one of the things that I have studiously avoided is talking about this eclipse. I want to say thank you to all of the people that have emailed me and sent me links about various different ministries, various different people that are talking about the eclipse. As I make this broadcast, it is now 11:45 a.m. on the date of 8/21/2017, and the eclipse is just now hitting Salem, Oregon. So why haven't I talked about the eclipse? Well, I'm going to answer that today. I haven't talked about it because I do not know of a credible prophet or one that has credibly heard from God in the past that has said anything about it. I have not talked about it because I don't think that there's going to be anything having to do with it. But there's a couple of things I do want to point out, and that those things I am concerned about. All right, first of all, let's go back and refresh our memory. The angel that spoke to Dimitri, and this is the thing we're really looking for. This is the thing that we know is coming. We don't know that anything is coming having to do with this solar eclipse. So the angel that spoke to Dimitri said the fall of America will start with an internal revolution, started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two other countries which he couldn't remember will attack. The Russians will bombard the nuclear missile silos in America, and America will burn. Now, I guess I need to give you my qualifications, okay? Why should you listen to me with the things that I'm about to say? Well, I have been studying Bible prophecy for 40 years, teaching it for 30 years, doing a radio and TV program on it for 24 years, and I just finished memorizing the book of Revelation. And we've had about 136 guest speakers come through that have made about 335 DVDs. So Bible prophecy has been my life. It is the way I make my living for the last 24 years. So why should you listen to me? Well, I think the whole point is I'm trying to do the best through myself and other people that seem to be confirmed to hear what God is saying, because the real objective is what is God saying about this. All right, so let's talk about that. What is God saying right now in the world? Let me go back to Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. Okay, so we do know that the lights in the heaven, meaning the stars, the sun, the moon, asteroids, comets, whatever the lights are in the heaven, are for us supposed to be a sign and for a season, for a day and a year. Okay, Stan, then you really can't throw this eclipse thing away, this event. You can't totally throw it away. All right. I'll give you my take on it in just a second. Let's also go to Luke 21 and carefully examine what it's really saying. When I went through memorizing the book of Revelation, one of the things that God really spoke to my heart as I was memorizing is, Stan, look at my words. Look at my words. Don't look off here and look off there and try to figure out and try to bounce this off the wall, bounce this off some other people. Look at what I have said. So I've tried to stick to that. And I have, by the way, found many, matter of fact, here in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to be making the DVD Revelations on Revelation. And I think that out of the 30, I think this will be my 34th DVD. In my opinion, I think this is going to by far be the best DVD I have ever made. I'm also going to say out of the 335, whatever number of DVDs we've made over the 24 years Prophecy Club has been going, I think this is going to be one of the most important DVDs that has been made at the Prophecy Club. Okay, so back to the point I'm trying to get to. Luke 21:25 says, "And there shall be signs," that's important, "signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars." All right, Stan, you just read where there's supposed to be signs in the sun, so you're going to totally throw this eclipse thing out? No, I'm not. Not totally. I think I have an important take on it. "There shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, distress of nations, distress of nations." No, I didn't hit a bump in the record. I think that's important. Again, what he spoke to my heart is, look at what I've said. All right, fine. Let's look at what he has said. He says, at a time when there are signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. All right, we're seeing a sign today in the sun. We're seeing a sign in the moon. But are we seeing signs in the stars? Okay, hold on. I've got some information to give you here in just a second. Signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. Are we seeing distress of nations? Well, North Korea, Syria, Iran, and now the Confederate statues. Let's go on. Upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. Now that word means there's no solution to it. They can't fix it. We can't change the movement of the sun and the moon and the stars. We can't change the movement of a comet or an asteroid. We can't. Okay. Now I know NASA, and they're trying to say, "Oh yeah, we can." Well, good luck with that. Okay. God wants to hit the world with a meteor. He's going to hit the world with a meteor. Okay. We can do what we want to do, but again, good luck with that. Distress of nations with perplexity. The sea and the waves roaring. Okay. Not all of that is in the process of being fulfilled yet. But is it close? Men's hearts failing them for fear. Oh, that's not happened yet. For looking after those things which are coming upon the earth, and for the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. I think that means exactly what it says. I think that there is going to be a 10th planet. You can call it what you want to out there. That is going to zoom through our solar system and upset everything. Just like he said, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and the stars. Upon the earth, distress of nations, men's hearts failing them. That's coming. This is not it yet. But there could be something, and I'm about to reveal that to you, this eclipse could be saying. "And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory, when these things begin to come to pass." Is this the beginning? "Then look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." In other words, means Jesus is going to be returning soon. Okay, so no, these are not in the process of appearing yet. However, they could be signs. All right, no, let's back up then. So the question today is, in your opinion, Stan, this eclipse that is marching across our nation today, even as I speak, is it saying something? Well, again, I do not know of any of the proven prophets that this ministry listens to that has got anything about this eclipse. They haven't got anything, so I haven't said anything. Okay, well, Stan, does it say something in your opinion? Well, it does say that darkness is going across the heart of America. The shadow of the eclipse starts, just look at it, okay? Just look at the line it draws. Back up, look at America, look at the line it draws. It starts in the top left corner of America, Salem, Oregon, and it slides across the center of the country from the top left to the bottom right. Okay. If you go and look at a no smoking sign, some of those do not enter signs, some of those signs that say don't do this, those advisory signs. If you notice the official version, now there's other versions that put the line exactly opposite. but the official versions of the no smoking sign and those kind of signs have the line start in the top left and end in the bottom right part of the sign. Just take, for example, you see the cigarette with the smoking coming out of the one side. Then you look to the top left, and the line starts top left, goes bottom right. Now, if this eclipse is saying anything, I think it would be saying no. I think it would have to be saying God has crossed out America. If there was nothing going on right now, then maybe it means nothing. Maybe we could just try to read into it something. But as a mature prophecy student, which I believe you are, as a mature prophecy speaker, hopefully you accept me as that. I think I've earned the right to say that at 64 years old. What is it really saying? Could it be that the trouble with Iran, the trouble with Syria, the trouble with Trump, the trouble with the alt-right, alt-left, the trouble with the Confederate statues, and the trouble with North Korea, we almost went to World War III for crying out loud, could it be that what God is saying is running a mark across our nation saying, America, you've been weighed in the balances and found wanting? Could it be saying that this whole Confederate argument that has been, as I've been saying the last couple of programs, started by the communists? Okay, you can call them Democrats, you can call them progressives, but what God calls them is communists, okay? So, I believe what I would say today is this line of darkness, starting at the top left and ending at the bottom right of our nation, if it is saying anything, I believe it is saying, America, you have been marked, judged, and the end has started. Now, it's not come yet, but it has started. As I've been saying for the last few broadcasts, I believe that this Confederate statues all being removed. I mean, it's not one. Now, they're trying to remove all of them. Could it be that the internal revolution, the fall of America, has started? Let me read something for you. This might be further confirmation. Again, signs of the sun and the moon and the stars and distress of nations with perplexity, meaning, and there's a saying in the occult, as above, so below. In other words, you want to know what's going on below, look above. And, of course, we know that, look at God. But the occultists say, look to the stars, the signs of the sun, moon, and the stars. Want to know what's happening on Earth? Look up. DailyMail.com. Headline. A 3-mile wide asteroid, the article says, is set to graze past Earth on September 1. NASA says it's the largest asteroid, in terms of being closest, to come to close since they began tracking asteroids. And they first spotted this asteroid in 1981, and they've been watching it get closer and closer and closer to the Earth. And there'll be signs in the sun, moon, and the stars, right? Okay. And when there's signs in the sun, moon, and the stars, there can be distress of nations with perplexity. Let's go on. NASA says this asteroid is 2.7 miles wide. This is no small thing, okay? It's a huge, okay? Relatively close encounter. They call it Florence. This space rock is going to pass 4.4 million miles away from our planet. But in terms of the whole solar system, that's grazing by us. Is that a shot across the bow? You know, the Iranians and their speedboats keep coming up and mildly attacking our destroyers. And the destroyer fires a shot across the bow, letting them know you've got close enough. They sound the horn, they get on the radio, back off, back off. But the point is when there's a shot across the bow, that's saying you take one more step and war is about to begin. You're about to get shot. So I have to ask myself, when there's a 3-mile wide asteroid flies this close to the Earth, is this a shot across the bow? Is this God saying the end times are here? Now, if you're going to ask a prophecy student, what does this big eclipse say? I think it probably says, again, I don't know for certain. It could be saying that this incident in Charlottesville did start the internal revolution. Let me put it this way. Now, please, I want you to understand, I'm not trying to change the words of the prophecy. I'm trying to ask you, could it be? If God had told us more, if he had told us what started the internal revolution, could the phrase be worded this way? Please, now, I'm not trying to change it. Okay? I'm asking you a question. Could it be this way? Let me read it. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution started by the communists in Charlottesville, Virginia. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The communists will begin demanding Confederate statues be removed, and that will be fighting against the government. Can that escalate? Here's the question. Can that escalate? Do you think that this call for these Confederate statues to be removed, you think that's going to stop? I don't think so. Hey, look, it's not that they're complaining against slavery, in my opinion. What they're really doing is complaining against the whites. Now, I'm not saying that the whites are right, okay? What I'm trying to say is, if you look through our history, the lion's share of the Christians throughout history in this nation have been white. You got to fill in the blank, okay? They're not attacking whites. They're not attacking slavery. What it really is they're trying to destroy the Christianity, the Christians in this nation. And I'm telling you that Bible prophecy, Revelation 13 says, and there was given to him a mouth, speaking great things. That's not good things, that's bad things. Great things and blasphemy, and power was given to him to continue 42 months. So this is the Antichrist. When he comes on the scene, he's going to be talking bad against Christ, against the Bible, and it goes on to say, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme. His name is Tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. That means the Old Testament prophets. Basically, this guy's going to attack everything having to do with God, Bible, Jesus, everything, and it gets worse. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Now, is that military? Well, it just said he's going to open his mouth. So this is overcoming the saints in terms of a propaganda war. Yes, I think military is going to be involved in there someplace too. But you're not going to lop off the heads of almost every Christian on the planet just militarily. It's got to be a war of words too. But on the other hand, if it's a war of words, you got to have the military in there someplace because it's going to be done mostly by force, okay? Let's tie this back to what Charlottesville is really saying. Charlottesville is really telling us that and this is what the people are really angry about. And if you go up and you ask them, well, what are you angry about? Well, because these people had slaves. It's because these people weren't good people. No, if you could look into their heart, understanding that this is the hand of God bringing our nation down because of sins. The Bible says that when we are at peace with God, he gives us peace with our enemies. Right now we have enemies in Iran, North Korea, Syria, Russia, Cuba hates us, Venezuela, obviously North Korea. So, we have a lot of enemies right now. So that tells us that God is in the process. Please, I'm telling you, it's a process of bringing a nation down. It's a process of causing an internal revolution started by the communists. Some of the people fighting against the government. What we're seeing is this is an attack on Jesus, an attack on Christians, attack on Christianity. It's really, really not about color. It's really not about statues. It's not about the Confederacy. This is really an attack, just like it says, and he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. This is God and his hand allowing the devil to attack our nation. So, let's go back to what it's talking about. Is this eclipse a sign? Well, let me say it this way. If it is a sign, what is it saying? It's saying that I have put a cross, a black cross, a darkness, all across the heart of this nation. As you have a sign that says no smoking, I'm going to put a sign across no nation. I'm going to say this very, very possibly could be the start of the internal revolution started by the communists in Charlottesville, Virginia. Some of the people there will start fighting against the government. Oh, no, Stan. They were fighting each other. It was this side against that side. Well, now wait a minute. As you heard me read the other day, what they've discovered is some of the police officers in Charlottesville came forward and said, well, actually, we were ordered to stand down. We were told to push side A up next to side B to push them together, kind of like throwing two chickens at each other to get them to fight. Throwing two dogs in the same close proximity to get them to fight, you see. If they had not pushed them together, they probably would not have fought. And then, after they were fighting, they commanded the police to withdraw, and they were ordered not to arrest anyone without the mayor's permission first. And then they were told they couldn't even arrest the guy that ran over the people, that was speeding away in the car. They couldn't even arrest him. This could very well be started by the communists. The head of the governor of Virginia, Democrat. Communist. Democrat. Progressive. No. Well, what is he? Is he a Democrat, progressive, or communist? What do you want to? What label? The point is, started by the communists. It may very well be that this eclipse, if it is saying anything, might be just saying, America, I found you weighed in the balances, and I found you wanting. And this is the start of the internal revolution that is going to grow. These Confederate statues, this issue is not going away, brothers and sisters. They're getting angry. If you ask me, this very well could be the internal revolution. It may very well be that this eclipse, this mark from the top left to the bottom right of our nation, right across the heart of our nation, may be arranged by God from the foundation of the earth to say that this nation has been weighed in the balances and has been found wanting. Let me read a few lines from an article to you. This comes from WorldNet Daily. Pat Buchanan is writing this. The title is America's Second Civil War. Let me read that again. America's Second Civil War. And what is he saying? Guess what he's saying? That's right. He's saying, is this an internal revolution? He goes on to say, and I'm only reading part of this, he says, what has changed is America herself. She's not the same country. We have passed through a great social, cultural, and moral revolution that has left us irretrievably divided on separate shores. Like ISIS, which smashed the storied ruins of Palmyra, and the Al-Qaeda rebels who have ravaged the fabled Saharan city of Timbuktu, the new barbarism has come to America. This is going to become a blazing issue, not only between the two parties, for there are 10 Confederates in Statuary Hall in the Capitol, among them Lee, Georges, Alexander, Stevens, Vice President Jefferson Davis, and Davis himself. The Black Caucus wants them gone. Mount Rushmore seized carvings of Lee, Jackson, and Davis are on Stone Mountain, Georgia. Are they all to be blasted off? There are countless universities, colleges, high schools like Washington and Lee named for Confederate statesmen and soldiers. Across the Potomac from D.C. are Jefferson Davis Highway, Leesburg Pike to Leesburg itself. 25 miles north are highways, streets, towns, counties named for Confederates. Are they all to be renamed? What about Fort Bragg? On every Civil War battlefield, there are monuments to Southern fallen. Gettysburg has hundreds of memorials, statues, and markers. But if, as the left insists we accept, the Confederates are traitors trying to tear America apart to preserve an evil system, upon what ground do Democrats stand to resist the radical left's demands? What do we do with those battlefields where Confederates were victorious? Bull Run, Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville. Where's this all in, President Trump said. It doesn't, he went on to say. He went on to say, is this the second American Civil War? Okay, let's go back to the point of the broadcast. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. That's what was said by the angel Gabriel to Dmitri Duduman. However, could we reword it this way? The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists in Charlottesville, Virginia. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. Communists will start demanding Confederate statues be removed. And that will escalate into an internal revolution. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two other countries will attack and defeat America in one day. Could it be? Well, the scary part is I don't think you can say no. I don't think you can say, no, the internal revolution has not started. It may very well have been started. Well, that's your good and uplifting and encouraging news for the eclipse. It may be signaling the end of our nation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And thank you for your gifts of support. God bless.
Join the battle and prayerfully consider supporting the Prophecy Club with your gifts of support. We would not be here without your prayers and generous financial support.
Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. The Extreme Summer Blowout is now in effect. You can get 50 DVDs for $250, that's $5 each. 25 for $160, that's $6.40 each. 15 for $120, that's $8 each. 10 for $100, obviously $10 each. 6 for $70, 4 for $50, and 2 for $30. You can go to prophecyclub.com. There's a list of all the DVDs there, or you can call us and ask for the summer catalog, or download the catalog at prophecyclub.com. Flip through it, then decide which DVDs you want. That's 785-266-1112, and it expires soon. Call 785-266-1112 today. Some restrictions apply. The number one killer in most emergency events, surprisingly, is drinking contaminated water. Being able to scoop water out of the puddle and filter it may save your life. I drink all of my water filtered through a Crown Berkey. Now, it's a gravity filter filtering down to virus levels. Contaminated water in the top gives you drinking water out the bottom. It's what the missionaries use. There are 7 Berkey options from 1 to 8 filters. Order them at prophecyclub.com. Be sure and order 2 to 4 extra black filters as backup. That's prophecyclub.com or 785-266-1112. Berkey water filters. Well, the truth is almost no people on earth agree on all points of the Bible. But if you listen to the Prophecy Club, the Spirit of Prophecy Church might be just right for you. Our 2 most controversial beliefs are speaking in tongues and post-trib. But you might have to attend a long time to see anybody speaking in tongues, and we don't really make post-trib a big deal. But our 2 only sticking points are Jesus is Lord and the King James Bible. So if you're not attending a church, or if you're maybe looking for a new or a different church home, especially if you like to listen to the Prophecy Club, Spirit of Prophecy Church might be a fit. Most of our congregation found us via Prophecy Club, and many actually drive long distances to attend. We suggest you visit at least 5 times before making your decision, and if you walk in Sunday morning about 10:15, you walk into coffee and donuts. You're free to leave anytime, no questions asked. So, if you listen to Prophecy Club, give us a try. Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue in Plano. That's on the corner of Park and K, like the margarine, right behind the Whataburger. Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue, Plano, Sunday, 10:15. Ask for Stan.